In just 50 years, 2 billion to 3.5 billion people, mostly poor who cannot afford air conditioning, will be living in a climate that has historically been too hot to handle, according to CBS News. Although 50 years seems far away, most of the world now will still be there then. Thermal comfort, or lack thereof, is on the rise to be one of the biggest global issues. Thermal comfort is defined as the temperature conditions at which a person feels comfortable. However, it is more than just a measure of air temperature. Additionally, this perception of temperature can be individualized or even subjective. Without access to proper air conditioning or heating, millions, if not soon to be billions, will be left without a way to be thermally comfortable. Every human should have the right to thermal comfort because global warming makes it harder to find thermal comfort, economic inequality can prevent from obtaining thermal comfort, and the physical effects on the body are dangerous due to the lack of thermal comfort. First of all, every human should have the right to thermal comfort because global warming makes it harder to find thermal comfort. According to Inside Climate News, we're going back to temperatures that we haven't seen for 5 million years, a territory that predates the divergence from humans to apes. Obviously, no one here on Earth has experienced temperatures like what we are heading towards. No one is physically prepared to be able to withstand such temperatures. As a result, human dependence on air conditioning or heating systems and as the climate becomes more unpredictable will grow. This leaves a bridge between those who are not able to afford or access air conditioning or heating. Also, since global warming is becoming a more prevalent issue, those who are without access to thermal comfort now are already feeling the effects. For example, there are millions of people who depend on natural ways of cooling down, such as rivers, lakes, and even putting mud on their bodies since they cannot access what they need to achieve their thermal comfort. Unfortunately, the world is only going to continue to get hotter if we do not act quickly, and that means that living conditions in certain areas of the world are years away from becoming uninhabitable. According to Earthsky, by 2070, this large expansion in uninhabitable land could affect 30% of the projected human population. This statistic shows that with global warming, billions of people could be left without access to thermal comfort all around the world. Having access to technologies such as air conditioning or heating to provide thermal comfort should be a basic human right, since global warming is going to leave an astronomical amount of people in unlivable conditions. Secondly, every human should have the right to thermal comfort because economic inequality can prevent them from obtaining their thermal comfort. According to NPR.org, in dozens of major U.S. cities, low-income neighborhoods are more likely to be hotter than their wealthier counterparts. Not only does this apply to U.S. cities, but this also applies to places all around the globe. Thermal comfort should not require wealth, but that is the case in every country. Wealth allows access to air conditioning or heating to provide thermal comfort, but just because someone cannot afford it does not mean that they should not be given their basic human right. There are many ways to allow those who can't afford to provide their own thermal comfort, such as allowing people in public buildings at night since the building is running on air conditioning or heating anyways. Additionally, with the economic gap becoming larger and larger, more people soon will not be able to afford proper housing, electricity, heating, or air conditioning. Without access to these technologies, it will become harder and harder for poor to find ways to be thermally comfortable. Thermal comfort should be a human right, not determined by the amount of money you do or do not have. Lastly, every human should be given the right to thermal comfort because the physical effects on the body are dangerous due to the lack of thermal comfort. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, health impacts may include gastrointestinal illnesses such as diarrhea, effects on the body's nervous and respiratory systems, or even liver and kidney damage. These are just a handful of the impacts on one's health due to the lack of thermal comfort. Since extreme heat or extreme cold is something many people cannot avoid, they should not be responsible for the health effects that follow. Thermal comfort is a privilege for most of the world, but the parts of the world that it is not available, they have to live with the side effects, which include many life-threatening health issues. Although most people do not feel the physical effects across the globe, but it does not mean that it is not there. It is unavoidable for many across the globe, making them leave no choice but to put their health at risk every single day. Thermal comfort should be a basic human right so that those who cannot help it do not have to suffer from the physical side effects that come along with the lack of thermal comfort. To conclude, every human should have the right to thermal comfort because global warming makes it harder to find thermal comfort, economic inequality can prevent from obtaining thermal comfort, and the physical effects on the body are dangerous due to the lack of thermal comfort. According to the New York Times, 8% of the 2.8 billion people living in the hottest parts of the world have air conditioning. It is time to bridge that gap and bring access to thermal comfort to everyone across the globe. Thank you.